What's up? Welcome, welcome. Let me check my mic. Mic check, mic check. How do I sound? Do I sound good? Am I too low, too loud? Is it clippy? Welcome, ICU. I'll be on the Discord in just a little bit. I'm just going to make an announcement for everybody. Let everybody know what's going on here. Sup, Stevie? Sup, DJ Joe Nice? Bit low, not bad. All right, testing, testing, testing. How do I sound now? What's up, Little? Arif? Bit low? All right, how about now? That should be good now. I was able to raise the volume a bit. All right, what's up, everybody? Welcome to Frank Analysis. You guys saw the title. We're going to be talking about solutions today. I'm going to be talking to people in my Discord. I'm going to leave an invitation for you guys in the description here, but this is something I'm thinking about doing every week. I talked to some of the people in my Discord. We could probably do this like every Thursday or something around the same time, or around 8 even. We can do it a little earlier. And you guys can come in and we can discuss solutions, because it's more, we can't just have like just one discussion about this like every now and then. Now it has to be a consistent thing. And I'm thinking about having certain projects that I can assign to my viewers that they can participate in, so we can, achieve these solutions and be able to inform more people about the problems that are going on in the world. That, it's hard for some people to find channels like this. A lot of people don't even care to watch independent media, but they'll care enough to listen to you if they know you, and if they've seen you around in your community, and you are open to talking to people in your community. So yeah, I'm thinking about certain projects that we can do. Like I can give you guys like a blueprint of a pamphlet, and you can fill it in according to what's best for your community. But even before handing out pamphlets, you can have a questionnaire that you hand out to people in your community, and you just ask them questions like, what is the most important issue for you? What are some of the problems that you've been facing? Like electrical problems, water problems, trouble paying off certain, student debt, paying for medical debt. Like what's the biggest issue for you in your that you're dealing with? And you can ask this to people. Then they can fill it out, and then according to the responses that you get, you can have a pamphlet that's more custom to your community. And then we can discuss what we can include in that pamphlet today with my panel here. And then I can have like a trailer and everything later on, and I can be more clear and give people more details on how they can hand out these pamphlets and how they can talk to their community. And then this can lead to, knowing more, people understanding what the problems are more. There will be more of an urgency for events like some street protests. But I mean, the problem with some of these street protests is that we have them and then, they die down. Like with the Black Lives Matter protests, whatever happened to them? We were on fire last year, but then they died down once we got Orange Cheeto Man out of office. And, a lot of these people think that the problem was solved just by that, or at least that the problems were mitigated, when that's not true. So we want to reach those people. We got to step outside of this, independent media bubble that we're in. A lot of these people don't care enough to just to watch people complain in the YouTube channel. All right, so I'm gonna put my headphones on. I'm on Discord right now. I'm sending an invitation link right now. I'm gonna put it in the live chat for you guys. And I'm gonna put that in link in Discord as well. We are live in Discord. I hit the go live button. All right, so I'm in the voice chat now. Whoever wants to join the Discord voice channel, you're more than welcome to join. Let's talk solutions. What's good? I'm trying to see how I can share this audio so people can hear you. All right. Testing thing. Can you guys hear all right, Josh, say something. Let's make sure people can hear you. A lot of you guys just joined. Can you guys hear the people in the Discord? Live chat, let me know if you can hear everybody in the Discord. Okay, you guys cannot hear people in the live stream. Okay. I'll unplug my headphones. We're just gonna have to hear directly from the desktop then.
Hello, can you hear me?
What about now? Can you guys hear them? Say something, guys.
Check, check.
Mic check.
Mic check. Mic check.
Yep, I hear you. You guys are good.
So,
Alrighty. Alright, so what do you guys think about what I said in the beginning of the stream? I don't know if you guys caught that about talking to people in your communities. I think we can start by having like a questionnaire, like have a list of questions that we can ask people and engage with them. Like, we can't just like hand out a piece of paper and then just like walk away. They're more likely to just throw it out. So we can introduce ourselves and then give them like a list of questions, like which of these issues are most important for you. We can ask them a bunch of other questions, and then based off of that, we can customize a pamphlet for them.
well, I know how we got the $15 minimum wage and shit in Seattle is it wasn't a lot of talking. I mean, I never had no one come up to talk to me about it ever before. It's more, people are slapping stickers everywhere downtown Seattle, not just Seattle, on buses everywhere. People was getting that on stickers and handing out papers and websites that you go to, and that's how it started. It didn't really. I don't remember anyone really talk about it. Like it kind of just happened that, like a street movement, where you just advertise on the streets. People putting up posters and stuff. The city tear them down. They come and put them up again at night. Put them right back up again. So I mean, yeah, talking, but there's a lot of things that we could, make little. I don't know if you call it pamphlet, whatever you want to call it, little leaflets or whatever. Like on all these issues, people always give you the same answer. So we need to have a rebuttal to those answers. Like when you say, I don't like that the government's spying on all my phone calls and all my texts, and they're looking at all my emails and my social media, this and that. And everyone's going to tell you, 90% of people's going to tell you, why are you worried about it if you ain't a criminal? Why are you worried about it? So we need to be able to explain that because 90% of people is going to tell you that. So that means they don't know different. Just because we know different, they don't. So we need to explain that, like make leaflets to explain that. And you don't have to hand them to people even. Like I said, stickers. Get them a website where they can go on the website, do catchy artwork, make catchy names. You know, we gotta do just how they advertise all this bullshit for us to buy. We gotta advertise the pamphlets so people's gonna wanna look at it. You know, you gotta make it catchy. It gotta catch your eye, just like they have these headlines to catch eyes. It's the same way we need to have these pamphlets eye-catching headlines where you're like,
Fucking,
I need to look at that.
guerrilla activism.
Exactly.
Guerrilla advertising.
We gotta do it like that. And like I said, it's all these questions, you know, all these things that we say, you know, like we don't want the police in our neighborhoods like this and all that. But people's gonna have the same answer. What about crime? What about this? What about that? That's what the pamphlets I think need to be about, like that. Like Ali wrote the article on Chicago that I read on the Substack, where they're trying to make Chicago RoboCop Detroit. And they're talking about that shit in Seattle already too, but we're not really having it here. We're fighting it. Trying to put in the triangulation shit for gunshots, and people here's like, no, fuck that. Because you come here, the crime already happened. There's either a body or no one got shot. If no one got shot, then you police come in here and kill somebody. Like you kill somebody. The people shooting the guns didn't kill nobody, but you come here and kill somebody. Like all this stuff. I think that's what the pamphlets. Got to start with that, and it has to be real eye-catching and real popping, you know, eye-popping and all that, and inspiring. It has to, like, you know, you got to put stuff away that makes people want to follow through and see what it's about. That's how all the things they do to trick us, to, you know, buy into pop culture and all this bullshit, we need to use that against them. We need to use their tactics against them.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, for sure. It definitely has to be eye-catchy. And I think we should link people to sources that they can look into to be more informed about these issues that are most important for them.
Yeah.
So we can have like a page in the pamphlet or a section in the pamphlet dedicated to sources that they can look into.
I think it should be small leaflets. I don't think it should be
barcodes too would be easy for you to just like bump it
I think
and make the website easy.
Like 3 or 4 pages max. There has to be a lot of it. It's going to have to be all different volumes. And all neighborhoods have different issues. Like Chicago has different issues than Memphis or whatever. So it's going to be a little different. So we got to start somewhere. It got to be on the streets. It got to be guerrilla. It ain't going to be on YouTube. It ain't going to be on TV. It ain't going to be on no Twitter. It ain't got technology. It's going to be, no technology is going to help us. No, it has to be like paper and written and spray painted and things that they can't just get rid of. They can't just hide it. Everyone going to work, they're seeing this. They're riding the bus, they're seeing stickers everywhere. You know, they're seeing all this stuff. So it has to be like more of a guerrilla type tactics, to me. I mean, none of this stuff, they've been doing the same thing forever. The Black Panthers had it almost going on, and they were doing what I'm talking about. That's what they were doing, what I'm talking about. So we need to take it back, you know, to the basics, to the roots. You can't dunk before you learn how to dribble. You know, so we got
Somerset Bean. You ever heard of that person on Twitter? They make like flyers, like Julian Assange flyers, and they're like super succinct. They'll be like explaining like WikiLeaks like leaks that have happened and like why they're important and what they are all about and all this shit with like graphics too to go with. So it's like
that's what
visually simple and like appealing too.
And that's what we need. We need stuff like that. You know, that's the kind of stuff.
It has to have solutions too. So
exactly.
what kind of?
It has to have the info.
What would you include like as like information for how they can solve a lot of the problems that they're facing?
Information is not. I think the information isn't that important because everyone knows a lot of this stuff.
Right.
Everyone just thinks it's hopeless. Because no one's doing shit and everyone's just selling out.
Right.
So I think we need to more make like an anonymous Discord or website or whatever to where we could just send people and like, this is where we're linking up, this is where we're discussing solutions and topics, this is where we're going to handle it. But it has to be anonymous because you don't want to end up like these Black Lives Matter people. Yeah. You don't want to end up, you know, gunshot in your head of your car. You know, like you don't want to end up like that. So all of it's going to have to be anonymous once it gets going, but it got to get going. You know, that's the bottom line. It got to get going. But yeah, no, I think it'd be better than giving them information and sending, a big place.
Not even anonymous or not, that people can listen to us if they wanted to, and it doesn't fucking matter, like, how hard you try to remain anonymous, especially with organizing something like you're talking about. That just is kind of like...
Yeah, that's why I think the guerrilla aspect, it's like you're moving as one, like you go out and do it yourself. Like if you endorse the sticker or the pamphlet, then by all means share it or whatever. Like there's these things called tiny libraries all around my city, and they're like give a book, get a book kind of thing. And I like print out like pamphlets and like stuff like that, or like even just like what's his name, Carlos Latouf, like cartoons, things that I think that like say something and are impactful, that are like easy to understand, and put them in those or whatever. And I don't know, they're quite like there's shitloads of them around the city, and they're quite like people use them.
They also
but for like solutions or whatever, I think that like there's lots of different solutions, like things you can do personally for yourself or whatever. Like, are you tired of the environment being degraded by the grocery stores and their shipping of food, or the farming or whatever, factory farming? Have a chicken coop in your backyard or something, or like grow your own garden or something. Like you could make like succinct things to say with that kind of statement, like society, like grow a garden, or I don't know.
When I assign
like
a project to the viewers, I can give people a list of sample questions they can include, like what you just asked. Like, do you feel like you want more healthy food in your community, and also the problems that a lot of people are gonna have like an understanding, and you can explain to people in the most basic way. Like corporations buy off politicians, and politicians implement policies that favor these corporations more than they favor you. Like that's simple. So, and then it's like if you want a more in-depth explanation about like certain issues, then look at these sources. But yeah, that first pamphlet or whatever that we hand out will be like a questionnaire, so you can have a good idea of what to include in the next pamphlet that you hand out with people. And of course, you have to engage with people when you hand it out, so they can remember you. Plus, you're going to be collecting it back, or unless you have another method of, do you guys want to do it?
Oh, yeah, Frank.
Send them to a website.
Like a place to do it online, like certain, like if they're like, I don't have time for that right now. Or then also you can be like, you just want to take a pamphlet, or you mentioned that you care about healthcare. Here's one that's about healthcare.
Yeah.
I think that like QR codes should be like plastered like everywhere too. Like it's like it's kind of hard to like memorize a fucking website, but I think it's probably easier to like snap a QR code. I don't know how many people do that,
QR
but
codes are really good for snatching up your information too. So.
you bet your bottom. But not a lot of people know that shit, and yeah. I'm pretty sure that the websites that like have free QR codes, that's pretty much what they're looking for too, is all your free data.
Yeah.
But it's like that's the thing with this data stuff, is like everybody's taking your data at this point. Like every time I fucking turn on my computer, my cell phone, every time I go to work, I go to a fucking store and they're like, "How was the store?" It's like, how the fuck did you know I was there? Freaky fucking phone.
Yeah, that's an issue. There's all these issues.
I just want to make a point. I just want to make a real quick point, man. If you can get people to like go and do an online questionnaire or whatever, get them to go to a website, email list, and then didn't give them tedious shit, like keep it really, really like not annoying and not in frequency, or like just kind of like high quality, then that would be like kind of ideal to be able to build, to be like, okay, well, I'm glad I'm getting this local information. I'm glad I'm getting this updated, non-biased information, but not overload and not like, patronizing or over the top or like whatever the fuck, just kind of something that they trust. It's pertinent, it's concise as shit, and just like backed up, or, vital stuff. I don't know. Like that would be cool to grow something like that. And then if it got to like the point where you could send an email out to everybody if it's like, oh, we have 10,000 people now. Like that itself would be like, wow, awesome. This little thing that was just starting up. Oh, hey, now we have 25,000 people. Oh, hey, there's 100,000 people, by the way. So congratulations to us, like little email. Like that kind of shit would be cool. And then if you're not annoyed, you continue to get those emails. I don't know. You have to start somewhere, you know?
Yeah.
Fucking email list.
Like,
I don't know how many people use the email list. I'm sure it's effective, but a lot of the times people abuse the email list, and that
I get
pisses
so
me off,
angry
dude.
with email
You
lists.
get
That's why I
status
said all
through
that.
fucking
That's why I said
emailing
all
you
that.
5 times a day, asking for
Yeah, that's why I said all that.
donations.
No,
Listen,
that's
Jordan,
You can't never ask for money, though.
you done good work, but come
That's
on.
the thing. That's the thing. We can't ever ask for money either. That's the thing. We can't ask for money. You can't. Like, people aren't gonna trust you. You can't ever ask for money, ever. You can't ask for money.
Yeah, that's not
So,
what
that's another part.
yeah, don't
The
make people
idea
feel like
is
there's
getting
any
people
like
together,
interest in
getting
like
people connected.
making money off of this. Like you're just like I'm trying to help you in your situation. Like I'm not asking for anything. I'm not asking you don't have to donate anything to anything.
Yeah.
It's just
yeah,
about
and, like,
informing
most-
yourself and
yeah,
how
I
you
would
can
love-
change your life.
Most people have like
I
a
would join that
printer
email
and
list.
shit, and even at that, you can go to like your city hall. At least in Canada, you can go to like government places and get free
The library,
printing or
yeah.
extremely
Yeah.
cheap printing. So
Yeah,
it's
The
like
idea, the idea is to get the vital information and or whatever good information and so forth, and get people connected, get people together, and then that's inspiring and hopeful in itself that like, oh, more and more people are.
The email list could definitely be done right. If it's just once every couple days or week or whatever, it could be done right. But you can't ever ask for money. That's the only thing.
That's how you grow something. I mean, you could grow something competent, and that in itself is like, wow, there's more of us. You don't feel alone. It's powerful. It could be.
So I want to hear from some of the people who haven't spoke yet. Anybody who hasn't said anything yet want to voice their thoughts?
Yeah, I'll have a go. Is that coming through?
Yep.
Nathan,
What up,
Paul?
Oz Whistles?
Yeah. So you're looking at getting action through pamphlets, or what are you trying to achieve?
So we want to inform people about what the problems are, but that can be done in a basic way, but also understanding what the problems people in your community are facing, and then to give people a list of solutions that they can do to overcome these problems, like buying, I don't know, supporting farmers markets, or growing your own food, or homeschooling, or mutual aid. So what are like some solutions that we can include in these, pamphlets? Like what do you guys think we should include in there?
Oh, real quick, man. I think like it's giving people vital information and even harder vital viewpoints. I just want to say that's one thing to accomplish.
You need to establish a forum and invite people in.
Yeah, that's what Frank was talking about with the survey.
At the local level,
Forum.
absolutely. And if you don't have the neighbourhood on side, you're not going to win. I mean, the unions proved that ages and ages ago. Like, if you're going to go on strike, if you don't have the support of the local community, you're going to starve, basically. So you need that real world, real support, real buy-in, and volunteerism is quite powerful. Because those people who bleat and moan for money and funding and stuff, they don't understand how volunteerism works. I found it conforms to a power law where a few sort of throw in a lot of resources, money or whatever, and then there's a big fall off where people contribute a little bit, a bit who contribute fuck all. But when you add it all up, it's really large. It doesn't have to be sort of like a linear, winners losers thing. People just having buy-in, just support without, just talking and saying, yeah, I'm in support of that. That's not a lot. You'll have thousands like that, but then you'll have an inner core of people who are putting an awful lot. And you've got to get the politics of enmity out of that, the jealousy of, oh, these people aren't doing anything, Now that's what breaks you up. You just got to accept that many will give little and few will give much, and it works. And you just got to have trust that that's how community works. Anyway, that's my 2 cents.
Yeah, great
Well,
point.
like his question again about what are you gonna do? What are you trying to do? Is also like what are you trying to be about? Like what are you trying to be about? And maybe that's like electoral politics suck. The oral there's no like we need electoral super reform. Or that basically the lesser of two evils ism is heinous and part of the major part of the problem.
That should
So
be
like
included too,
something
in like a brief
review like that.
paragraph about how electoral politics is not helping us fast enough, and how important it is for us to take action outside of electoral politics. That should be explained.
And not only that, Franklin has got it wrong. Because no, it's not that electoral politics isn't getting us there fast enough. It's taking us
At all.
backwards. So we got to explain how
great point, yeah.
electoralism is taking us backwards, not forward.
Yeah.
Backwards.
Yeah, that's right. The incrementalism isn't working for us; it's working for the corporations. Like incrementalism is going backwards. Yeah,
It's not incrementalist. So what?
decrementalism
It's been getting more and more
is
conservative. I know.
yeah.
But it hasn't been going incrementally to the left. It's
Exactly,
been
yeah,
going
yeah.
incrementally to the right.
Yeah,
So that's not-
that point really
that's
should be
not-
driven.
No, like
It-
politics, it's failed.
That should really be driven in the introduction.
I
Yeah,
personally want to like advocate for.
You know?
I personally want to advocate for direct democracy to try and like stop the the terrible things that will representative democracy, because that ultimately you're giving your vote to another person. But I still think there's like pressuring these people that are already in office is impactful, because like look at Richard Nixon, he fucking was forced to do like end the Vietnam War, fucking work safety standards, fucking creating the EPA. Like there's like a huge list of things that dude was like forced to concede on and pass because he feared like revolution or whatever. Same thing with FDR and stuff. Everyone thinks that FDR was just some smart dude that was so great, but really he was scared shitless and was wise enough to see that, you know, you got to concede to some things. And I want complete change, and I want to live in whatever my utopia, but I think incremental change in some way is good. But I think the way of getting it is to like force it in. You know, like scare these motherfuckers.
Like you're talking about pressuring the politicians, and like
Exactly,
I want to pressure
we
the
don't have enough
politicians.
people.
I want to pressure the politicians to pressure the elites and to pressure the corporations, but neither party is doing that. And I think incentives can go a long way as far as vote electoral politics issue goes. As far as electoral politics issue goes, like if you were to take, they got these super PACs on us, and like $1 billion or whatever was spent last year, or something, so or whatever billions maybe. And if you could tax that something and then put that into like debates, like small campaigns, helping out that problem of like the whole electoral problem.
Like that's why I think the Guerrilla
put incentives on their
This is all
because like advertising is what our society is like built on. That's the stories we tell ourselves and fucking we believe or whatever. And you like, I was watching a documentary with Yelbro the other day called The Merchants of Cool, and like Naomi Klein's book No Logo is like the same premise, that like the marketing companies have like molded and shaped to the point where now they're marketing counterculture, and they're trying to like be counterculture, like things that you think you're outside of the system, but really you're just a fucking sucker that is like everyone else, and they're trying to like catch the new. So I think that the
pressure the
Guerrilla,
politicians so they can fucking grandstand on you and act like they did something, and fucking, oh yeah, we took the photo, like. What the fuck?
yeah, but look at Richard Nixon. And do we grandstand and look at Richard Nixon like he did the good things, or do we just fucking look at him like he's a piece of shit?
Both.
Yeah, it depends how you see it. But that's also a thing with these flyers and shit, that giving people the narrative and the clarity of like what's actually going on.
Reality, exactly.
You could compare Nixon with Obama.
With the March for Medicare for All, what's the solution for that? You know, I guess there was a really good march that took place all over the country, and it's just, I think if we want healthcare, it's going to require some sort of political, organizing, political action, and and I feel like what is the next step there? For me,
What
it's
do you
like
mean by political action?
that's what I'm asking too. I guess it's like
Well,
so we had
what was it in the 60s? That's what it's going to take. Like it was in the 60s. But we got to go even farther than that. Because the 60s,
But I don't know if we all agree on like what our end system would want to be, but we can all agree on issues that we want passed or whatever. Like I'm a communist. I don't know if y'all want to live in a communist future, but
so here's my thing.
we're not going to rally around the same things. I don't think.
Yeah,
But we're going to rally around issues that we agree on.
We agree on Medicare for all, and then I guess we can come up with a few other issues, stopping ending the war,
Anti-nuclear issues.
raising the minimum wage to like $25 an hour. So like a set of demands, and that's kind of a movement. And that's what I'm thinking. I'm just thinking of some political solutions, and I think that was a good step.
People
was a
are so
good step.
I like
brainwashed.
the minimum wage thing.
People are not that brainwashed because people are waking up. People are waking up. Why are
Nah.
They're really not. They're really not.
No one's waking
They're
up.
really not.
People-
They're really not.
Yeah, I work with normies and I'm out in the public. My God.
I know.
Forget
He's
it.
right.
People in the independent media bubble are waking up, but a lot of normies are not.
I have
But
friends I went to high school with
but
sharing shit about the Delta variant. Like,
They're
Well,
freaking
no,
out
years
about that.
ago-
Yeah.
10 years
Waking
ago,
up into another sleep.
but 10 years ago,
That's what the young people are doing.
there was no
It's not
Medicare.
getting better. What do you mean?
Well, it's that same thing with the counterculture. They think they're being countercultural, but really they're being normies and they're being duped by advertisement and shit.
No,
Like the Hill Rising, fucking MSNBC, freaking Jon Stewart, like all these fucking people.
Yeah,
No, I'm
exactly.
talking about the Medicare for all
Our
movement.
revolution.
Not
Yeah, Bernie Sanders, man. How counterculture was that motherfucker?
I mean, the
No,
movement.
Push this guy's a poor, guys. We owe him everything.
The Medicare for all movement is to the left of Bernie. Is outside of the Democratic Party. That's what I'm saying, and it's not like totally controlled by the
This shit ain't
capitalists.
even about political parties. These pamphlets ain't going to be about any political party. It's just about raising people's awareness, and then we'll figure it
Yeah,
out.
it's about people finding solutions outside of electoral politics.
My
Talk
contribution.
about party first. Like you're over here.
Yeah, as soon as you pick a
No,
side
no.
and say a side, you've lost somebody. But as soon as you talk about that issue that
My
touches somebody,
My thing isn't
There's
a party.
a block system in Portland
And
for taking care of communities and stuff.
okay, it has to do with Medicare for all. It don't got shit to do with none of that. It has to do with telling people about the system, why it's like it is, and how the fuck we change it. That's all it's about. Fuck your politics. I don't care if you're a racist. None of that shit. If you're down with what we're talking about, then you're down with the cause. We'll figure the other shit out afterwards. We'll figure out.
you don't even have to bump shoulders with these people. It's like if they believe in this, if they want Medicare for all, and it's some racist dude, it's like you're never gonna know it. It's just a fucking extra person that's pushing. The Republican Party now is getting pressured.
I don't give a fuck. I will work with the racists. What the fuck do I care?
yeah,
If they
as
don't
long
pick
as
me
the
up,
opportunity.
I don't give a fuck. Bring your racist mother. We'll forget about it. We'll forget about that.
We don't need to get along on everything. We just need to have shared goals, and then we can work.
Yeah.
And then we can part ways.
I'm saying there needs to be political goals. There needs to be political demands.
Exactly, but it's political goals. Everything I'm saying is a political goal to change the system. That's political goal. We don't need to get into nothing else. The solutions we figure out after we get to talking. We're not even
Well, it's
talking.
like so like every problem we have poses a question, and you just have to put the answer. So it's like Daniel Hale's going to jail for exposing the fucking drone program and assassination complex. Should we I don't know, pose a question out of that and then answer it with like, shouldn't we, or I don't know, the world would be better if we did this or something. Like, there's ways to do a question and answer or whatever. Like I did it earlier with the, do you hate factory farming? Start a community garden. And fucking we could plaster those stickers everywhere, and it's like a statement in someone's head.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly. Them stickers, and you gotta have some artwork on there and have a website for them to go to. And there you
I
go.
just wanted to mention that in Portland they have a thing called like these blocks. It's like potato block, tamale block, blunt block, optical block, a soup block or whatever. There's all these blocks, and so they're doing something right outside of a political sort of solution, but they're getting in trouble with the law. So it's like going outside of politics is even like going outside the law because the food isn't like tested or approved.
Hey, guess what? During the revolution, people's going to jail, people's getting killed, all that. So.
Well, and feeding the homeless is against the law in some places. You give the blankets.
Man, if you think that there's going to be an easy way out of this, that no one's going to suffer, no one's going to get killed, then nothing's ever going to change. There's people like you that think like that. Because no, motherfuckers going to die. A lot of people might die. People's going to jail. People's going to disappear. That's what happens. I mean, how are we going to change it? No one had to sacrifice their lives to, when Rome fell, how many slaves and people got killed?
Well, man, I don't know. I mean, make your point, but don't make your point at my expense. I think, or whatever.
You can't think like that, because no, like it's.
But I think you agree.
Easy way out.
I think you agree, though. If, I don't think I could be wrong, but you wouldn't want.
You want it? No.
No, you wouldn't want anybody to get hurt if you're going to be looking for a solution that's going to be working for everybody, right?
Of course not. No, it's the police and the feds that's going to be hurting the people, not us.
Well, it's a double-edged sword.
There's no guarantee of that.
The government is going to be the CIA.
There's no guarantee of that. There's no guarantee of that.
Yes, there is. Yes, there is. How come it didn't change after the 60s? How come Cesar Chavez
will it happen?
How come Cesar Chavez got the farmer union to where they could buy a house?
Is there a possibility?
Don't get paid shit.
Is there a high probability? Is there a high probability that it'll happen? Sure. But if we're talking like, yes, this is definitely what's going to happen.
You have to get yourself mentally prepared, or else you're going to capitulate and end up selling out like AOC and all that Corey Bush. That's why there's Corey Bush. Hey, that's why there's Corey Bush. That's why there's Colin. That's why there's Jackson Hinkle. That's why there's Jimmy Gore.
Well,
you're telling me why. You're telling me why, because they don't want to sacrifice anything. No one wants to sacrifice anything for change. That's the problem. That's the problem.
And everybody wants to talk about sacrifice, but they don't want to actually do that themselves. I think we need to be open for a revolution or whatever that's out of our conception that doesn't necessarily have to involve any violence. So when we start talking, yeah, this is definitely going to happen, that's all I'm trying to say.
You're misconstruing me. We're not going to be being violent. Just as talking is being violent. The Black Panthers weren't violent.
No, I don't mean to twist your words. I don't mean to twist your words.
I said we're not going to be the violent ones. They're going to be killing us. What are you talking about?
Well,
the police, the feds, the CIA is going to be killing us.
I'm saying.
Nobody.
I'm just saying we don't need to be definite about that. That's not a guarantee.
And that's why it's never going to happen, because no one got the moral steel that they're willing to do it. Like in the 60s, they didn't care if they got killed. Until you don't care, if you get killed, nothing's going to change.
I care if I get killed. I care if
but Tender, let's not get caught up with that conversation though.
If it takes me sacrificing my life to make something happen, I would do that. So that's where we different. We built different.
I don't know.
That's what that is. That's what that is. We built different.
I don't know, Tenderloins, and we can talk about this another time.
I do know. I already been put my life on the line out here. I do know. I know what I would do.
But before, what can we?
I ain't dying for this movement. Not until you motherfuckers get some nuts.
There's gonna be some places. Hang on, guys, hang on. There's gonna be some places where more people are gonna be, willing to do, what Tenderlungs is saying, based on like where they are in their community, how urgent, how desperate they feel. So that could be that the preparation or whatever. Like if like a state reacts, that can be explained to people depending on how urgent or desperate people feel in those communities. But there's going to be other communities, like for example, like where me and Josh live, where Josh and I live, it's a bit more comfortable. A lot of people aren't willing to do that, but we can still talk to them about how we can opt out of the system.
It's not even about the difference of the communities to me. I just don't like, and Tenderlungs, I love you, bro. I'm just trying to say, I'm just trying to say, I don't want to talk about people. We can say there's a high probability of these things happening, but when we say it's definitely going to happen, that people are definitely going to get hurt, that's where I'm like, yo, wait, hold up.
But if you're not getting mentally fortified,
that's why I said probability, right? But when we say, this is definitely going down, then we're saying, we're preparing for something.
As long as we explain that the higher chance is it's going to be rough.
Okay, but
because the thing is, I'm telling you right now, why do you think all these people are selling out?
Well, but let me ask you. If I ask you,
hey, check it out. On a small level,
I think Jimmy Dore talks about that.
So on a small level, why are people selling out? Why is people like Afeni and Colin? Like I already know they sell out. Why is there, they're small nobodies. Like, why is they selling out? Like, they don't even have clout or nothing like that to worry about nothing, and they're already selling out. Like,
what do you mean by how they're selling out?
Oh man, we're gonna get into this right now. A lot of
just for the people who may not understand.
The way they, they'll pop up for photo ops. Like Colin wanted to talk shit about Cori Bush, then he just pop up and get a photo op with her. And then he want to talk about, I was trying to just, have it for evidence for later. So when she starts saying yin yang, and, I popped up. And I'm like, okay, well, why do you turn the video on and ask her why she just pop up for a photo op and don't speak and don't be down with the Medicare for all no more? You lying. You grifting. You doing that so you can get a job doing something else later. I called him out. I called him out. I said, Colin, you're one of those guys that's going to grip off a homeless.
You heard of H.A. Goodman's no sellouts? Well, this is the real deal. H.A. Goodman,
in 3 years, I'm hearing about you running a network of homeless shelters, and I'm going to see you on the news because you done embezzled money from them. You done took their sock and dinner money. You done stole from homeless people. And then he come out and say, I already was a homeless instructor for 2 years in a children's shelter. I said I knew it because I've seen people like you. I've been homeless. I've been in these shelters. I know a grifter when I see a grifter. Same thing with Afeni. She popping up in the march. I see her with some old, 5K picture of her at the march feeling smile on her face. Yeah, because you grifting. You probably going to run a homeless shelter too and grift off of them too. I see all these people. I'm from the streets. I can see through you. You can't hide from me. I got X-ray vision over here. None of these people can hide from me. I see through them in 1 second. I saw Jamal Thomas for 2 seconds and knew he was a bootlicker. I seen the tongue ring. I said, I can't trust no 50-year-old grown man with a tongue ring. And then you hear the way he talks. All these people grifting. All of them. They all grifting. No one's real. I'm real. I'm real.
Tenderlungs, can I jump in here? Hey, Franco.
Hey.
Long time listener, first time caller.
What's up, man?
When you put out the Medicare for all, yes, it is terrible that the United States is very, very lacking compared to the rest of the world. There's like some third world countries in the United States that does not have some sort of universal healthcare. In fact, Cuba has universal healthcare. All of Europe has it. I understand that. Personally, I can't do the big picture thing. You're asking about, I think the whole subject idea was, what do we do instead of having, protests or something else with it?
Yeah.
I don't know big picture. I know what it is. I know where we want to go. I wish I was driving the bus, but I'm not that person. Me personally, it's about small changes. And small changes make better people, and better people make a better world. if you have say, live in an apartment building, if you could just grow a tomato plant and you're happy growing this, and somebody next door grows some zucchini, and somebody downstairs might have a couple other vegetables, at one time you're going to have so much tomatoes that you just want to share or trade it. If you can give somebody something that they've never had before, that's a small change. That makes them happier, and that's where I'm with it. I'm not a violent change person. I'm about making small differences.
How do we get Medicare though? How do we get Medicare from doing small changes?
That was my point. It's a very big picture. I can't change that, and nor can you with this. But we have to be community minded. We have to get politicians. I said this to propaganda earlier. The word politics comes from Greece, where poly meaning many and ticks meaning bloodsuckers. So politicians are not the answer, but it's the only way we have right now. We have to get better representatives to put forth our ideas. I'm Canadian, and I say our medical system is not the greatest, but it's really, really damn good compared to the United States.
How did Canada get their healthcare system? Like, what did it take to get it?
Most of that was based off of Commonwealth. Most of that was based off of community countries that turned around. Our example was based off of a British system, off of a social system, off of a conglomerate of ideas. It was, again...
But, hold on, let me step in going. Jesus Christ, you Canadian fucking maple drizzled son of a bitch.
Yo, all of these fucking movements stem from fucking radical groups like communist movements, anarchist movements, fucking socialist movements. All these people having these great ideas like fucking everyone should have healthcare, fucking everyone should be equal in the workplace, and fucking I don't know, there's fucking a plethora of things you could say, but healthcare was pushed, especially in Canada and the UK, and even in America somewhat, but it wasn't passed. But by the Communist Party, and there was a guy named Tommy Douglas in Saskatchewan that ended up getting elected, and he was a communist, and he ended up passing Medicare for all in the province. And once it got into Saskatchewan, it became extremely popular. People were started to move to Saskatchewan en masse and like fucking tell their friends about it, and then it province by province it passed. And same way that marijuana is passing in America, it's going state by state. So I think that we got to focus on viable states that you know it will pass and try and just fucking hammer it there.
But then I get worried because most states can't print money. So if one state has it and taxes have to go up, won't you just see an exodus like you see with people leaving California to Texas? That's what I worry about by the state-by-state approach. But I believe it's the most realistic, sadly.
But if, like for me, I get taxed on every paycheck, and I don't really notice it, you know? And I've broken my hand. I had to get surgery on my hand, which would have cost in America probably tens of thousands of dollars, if not, well, I won't say hundreds, but I know it would be tens of thousands of dollars. I've had an ulcer, that would have cost thousands of dollars, maybe tens of thousands of dollars. I just go into the hospital, I fucking sign some paperwork, I sit in a chair, they call my name, I fucking go get the fucking procedure done, or they tell me what's wrong with me, I go home to the pharmacy, I buy fucking drugs for a fraction of the price what you guys pay, I go home, and I call it a day. Like the whole tax, it's just like American shit propaganda that people are, but I think once they see it happen, like it's undeniable that.
My hand's up here for a minute, propaganda. So when you call the United States, everywhere else in the world, a state is considered a country. And so when you look at the United States, they're still running off that. Like Idaho is its own country, and Hawaii is its own country, California is its own country. And so you folks call it the United States, which is basically, I guess the weirdest sort of thing would be like Europe. You are running everything individually. When I talk about COVID, I'm not going to go in that it is or isn't, but when you talked about putting out what is the breathing apparatus, and it seemed to be every state was bidding on them, like they were bidding against another state.
Yeah.
You were running like 50 different independent countries. And you need a proper governance to be able to say, we have an emergency system here, respirators, thank you, that can say we need to allocate it here, we need to put it there, we need to put our resources there. Be damned with the arrogance of each senator or each representative. I don't understand how California gets 2 votes, and Alaska gets 2 votes, and Idaho gets 2 votes, and Hawaii gets 2 votes.
Someone from a small state can block what I want in Massachusetts. Someone from West Virginia can block legal marijuana, which is legal in my state.
Absolutely, and it's a non-progressive way of going with this. You need to provide coverage for every American person, and hopefully worldly people at the end of the day with it. How do we get from point A to point B? Again, I'm going to go back to the same thing. Small changes, community changes, good involvement, good ways of going with this, and hopefully, I guess, a smiley face that makes everybody else happier.
Yeah, I wanted to give like another example of like how things got passed in Canada. Like we got like Social Security and other things, or work safety standards and stuff passed in the 30s, because like the same reason that the New Deal was signed. It was like fear of revolution and fear of like communist overthrow. So they conceded pretty much half the things that the communists had on their platform. And like you can look back at speeches of like this guy named William Benford Bennett, who was the Prime Minister of Canada, saying that like communism is terrible, healthcare is like all this stuff is terrible, fucking Social Security is freaking like code word for communism and all this stuff. And then he ended up passing it all, and he's known as like, you know, a welfare state guy, like a great leader in Canada. Same with Mackenzie King. Yeah. So I think that's like the main thing is to like we're working within the system that we have now, and there's things that you can demand through reform. Like Owen was talking about the Electoral College. We have like first past the post system. Like I think those should be demanded to be like abolished. Electoral reform and like investigations into the elections, like things like that. I think most people in the country, in my country and in America, think that the system's rigged and that their vote doesn't mean shit. I phone banked for Bernie in 2016, and a lot of the people said they wouldn't vote for Bernie, and I asked why, because they didn't think he was going to win, and a lot of people say they wouldn't vote at all, and it was for the same reason.
Yeah, I think that should be included in the introduction about explaining how corrupt our country is, and then include there how, in addition to how it's electoral politics is sending us backwards, how our election system is privately owned, and they're going to do everything that they can to prevent people like Bernie Sanders or a third party from winning. And if they do get someone who appears to be progressive on the surface, they're going to sell out. And we can say AOC and the squad are elected Congress people now. They're not doing anything to help us. So that can solidify, to people how we have to take action outside of electoral politics, because No one's saving us right now. No one's doing anything.
Can y'all hear me?
Yep.
I don't want you to lose heart in this. I think things are changing. If you get
No, they're
a
not.
tender one,
Not.
I
They're
think
not.
You guys,
There's
this is
people
my
that are
liberal
suffering
friend,
right
and
now.
I love him to death.
give me a
Welcome.
second.
Oh,
If you get Tenderlink's passion in there, along with some of Ben's wisdom and Franco's direction, you're going to be it's just not going to move in the same speed that you want it to be. Change is a slow thing. Real systemic,
That's not true,
long-term
though.
change is a slow thing.
It's
No,
not
no,
true.
People need
I'll give
changes
you an
now.
example.
Tell that
I'll
to
give you an example.
Czar.
In this
Give
country, you know,
Give me 5 minutes. Give me 5 minutes of an example. Say, I'm gonna watch. I know Detroit burn. I watched it. I saw what it was. I watched L.A. With Rodney King. I'm seeing George Floyd go through with this. The violent change with people being upset does not make long.
We're not talking about though. We're talking about how we can opt out of the system.
We really need to make neighborhood changes. We need to make long-term community changes.
No, I'm talking about how they did it back in the 1930s. You know, with the rise of the trade union, the CIO, the Communist Party was very involved. A lot of the socialists.
The Wobblies.
You know, the Wobblies before the 1930s.
Big Bill Haywood and things like that.
In 1930s, that's when America, they got unemployment insurance. That's when Social Security came about. You know, that's like the real progress. That's like the major progress. You know, and then some in the 1960s. But other than that, there is no gradual progress. Really, there's nothing that happens other than through real drastic organizing and action. You know,
And it's like, it is dangerous too. Like those guys got like, you know, they got like extradited out of the country. Or not extradited. They got like chased out of the country and like.
But give me an example of the past 40 years or 50 years where things have really changed because of dramatic, violent outcry. In the past 50 years, how has that changed?
Last 50 years, we've gone backwards. Like, there's declining living standard. You know, so that's why nothing has happened, because there is no drastic action taking place, and that's what happens. We're going backward.
But that was my point. I've seen dramatic changes. I watched Detroit burn. It was a bunch of
that's not dramatic change. I'm talking about 1930s.
Can I jump in here? Can you all hear me?
I'm talking about class struggle.
Yeah, we can hear you.
Yeah, I'd like to just kind of jump in here. So my name's Alan. And
What's
I've
up,
done
Alan?
A lot of direct action, a lot of civil disobedience for a very long time. And the key to this work is localized groups that are working every single week. They're meeting every single week, and they're planning their actions, and then they're going to do their actions. And their groups, if you want to do this non-violently, you're doing it with the threat of civil disobedience, which is risking arrest for a cause. And you're doing that as part of what you're doing. So not every direct action, like the marches last weekend for Medicare for All, they were non-arrest risk actions, although you always have to know when you're doing direct action, there's always a risk of any number of things going wrong. But if you're adding into the mix civil disobedience, where you're literally planning actions where people will be, we say risking arrest, not getting arrested, because the idea isn't the arrest itself. That's not the point.
Yeah.
The point is to put the pressure on the system, and this is a nonviolent strategy and philosophy. And what that does, when you do actually risk arrest and then you are arrested and you go to jail, we are in a capitalist oligarchy, and you're costing the system money. That's the only thing you really have the power to do on that end of the spectrum, is to cost the system money for your cause. And literally, there's finite budgets, you know, and as obscene as the police budgets are in this country today, they are still finite. So there's only so much money they have before things start to shake loose. And in this regard, when we're looking at issues of justice, we have the moral high ground. So we already have that established. Medicare for all, or really what I would advocate for is even further, a fully socialized healthcare system. We have the moral high ground. We don't need to be capitulating or even really listening anymore to the detractors of the movement. We shouldn't be really focusing so much of our attention there, as we should be planning in our local communities, doing direct action and civil disobedience on the regular. And so some of these other things that will come into these conversations about, you know, the thing about Detroit or whatever, that has nothing to do with what we're talking about. So if we want to win a goal, we have to organize locally. And oftentimes it's like working with a small group of people in your community who are willing to risk arrest for a cause or support others who do so. And that's a radicalized position. That goes to the core. And by radical, I mean the radix, the actual root of the problem. And then that is where you go to the root of the problem too, by risking putting your body on the line or supporting others who do, knowing you're going to be the most unpopular person to do it. So it's not about ever getting the majority of people on your side. That has nothing to do with it. That will happen over time, but you taking the action, it's not a norm in society right now, so you're already on the outside of that. You're already unpopular. I mean, I could go on for 4 hours on this. I do trainings on this. I did Zoom trainings with some of the people who just did the marches a couple of months ago, or like actually back in the winter. And we actually went and did some direct action, some stuff that actually did go not completely viral, but it was a piece in the story. And that's the whole thing, is that every action is an action moving the movement forward, but it has to be a regular practice if you really want to win the demand. And Medicare for all, of course, is the topical thing on my mind, and the thing that I've put some effort towards recently myself. But yeah, anyway, I could go on and on and on. But just to understand that, like, if we're talking about flyers and different things, like that stuff that just happens when you're planning your actions. So I would advocate for all of us who are interested in this stuff really engaging in regular direct action organizing. There's horizontal structures. If anyone's interested in learning this stuff, I train people how to do this. But anyway, that's that. I'll stop there a bit.
No, so how do you get these people to do this action when no, most people's fine with how it's going? So no, you're wrong. No, you're way.
Well, they're not. No one's. It's not a question of being fine with something. It's a matter of. A lot of times what it is people don't feel they have the power.
It's not happening organically, bro. Like, you're full of shit. Nothing. It don't happen organically. It should be getting better, not worse. You're full of shit.
I'm not saying it happens organically. That's not what I just said. It takes intention. It takes people to actually sit down with people in a room together and plan action and take it. Look, I'm talking from experience, not just sitting on my ass, okay? You don't have to agree with what I'm saying. You don't have to believe in what I'm saying, but it's true.
Give me an example. What action? Give me an example of an action. Tell me an action.
Was instrumentally involved in getting marriage equality to the United States of America.
Action. Give me a specific action. What specific action? And I'm gonna tell you why it won't work. Give me an action.
No, I'm not gonna have that conversation because obviously you and I probably wouldn't be organizing together.
You're a bootlicker. I know, because you're a bootlicker.
Tenderloins, let's keep it civil, man. Let's not call each other names.
I think that, like, once you start getting into groups or whatever, like, it's really ripe for infiltration. I think there's millions of fucking agents out there that are working towards fucking infiltrating things and spying on things. Like, I think that working atomized, and like we are atomized already. I think working atomized and doing guerrilla activism is like one of the only things you can do without getting like infiltrated, because only you know yourself. And
Well, guys, I'm telling you, I'm speaking from experience where I've won major victories. I've been part of that work, so I'm not talking from another place. So the thing is that you have to assume your movements are infiltrated. You have to know that they are. That's why you rely on a horizontal structure. You rely on structure.
I feel you.
This is not new. You guys are acting like this is something new. This is not new. It's been going on for time immemorial.
So there is a way to be treated
This is what happens in groups, you know. There's lots of arguing, which is good. I think fucking it's good, but it's like I think it's better. This kind of thing is good for finding out about yourself or whatever. But when you get in these groups, it's ripe for fucking some rowdy ass shit, you know. Like personally, I'm advocating.
There's horizontal structures that don't allow for the talking over of each other, guys.
Yeah,
that's what the structures for. You guys don't understand the structure.
Welcome to Discord, Alan.
If you want to know.
I'm just saying that when I talk about drastic action, I don't mean just like Rodney King type of riots. You know, I mean class struggle, like class struggle methods.
What does that mean?
That's not Rodney King.
Man.
Hey, listen, there is a way around getting infiltrated. It's where
say class struggle. That means nothing. What do you mean by that?
Yeah, let's be clear. I want to clear that. Can you clarify further, Zayden?
One at a time, guys. Let us whistles finish.
Yeah, you know, before the topic passes on, because it's passing on real quick. The way around
Zayden, hang on.
The way around infiltration is to make sure that your groups in local cells, where those cells know each other, and you can't infiltrate them because everyone knows everyone. You can only be infiltrated when strangers come in.
8 odds, I got $1 million for you. You want to do something bad?
No, so your organisation's got to be made up of cells of people who know each other really well. Little local groups where they really know each other and they can tell if someone's backstabbing. And they're not going
I feel that does work, but there's still a chance of infiltration. I feel like paying somebody off, for instance.
Yeah, people can be paid
give me $1 million to do whatever.
If you know the people around you, you know who's going to be vulnerable to paying off, so you keep an eye on them. And you listen. They start changing behavior.
The Black Panthers were infiltrated. I'll point out the Black Panthers were infiltrated. I'll just point that out.
Every group's going to have that risk. You can't operate from that frame, though. You can't say,
I know. We got to call
infiltrated. The vote was infiltrated.
That's why I would rather work as an individual to support a collective action or whatever. Like, I'm okay with collective action, but I think I work better on my own advertising said issues. And I think that people don't even know solutions nor the issues a lot of the time. And I think educating the masses on the issues and the solutions, for me, is like the main goal.
So
educate through your actions.
Like my boy Tenderloin says, you gotta learn to fucking walk before you crawl. You gotta learn to crawl before you walk, kind of shit. Like,
I know there's all kinds of problems in working together and everything, but I still think that working on your own thing is what's already being done, and really collaborating. Really like kind of what goes on in some of the Discord servers where it's like working for the same thing actually, just it kind of almost instinctively or tacitly or without that much it just harmoniously somehow. And I mean I think that's more towards something useful within everything, groups and media and everything, where there's real potential to do something differently and really collaborate. Even addresses the issue of fucking Tenderloins got originally so excited about like people endangering themselves. If it's 1,000 people or 10,000 people like sort of standing up together, then it's a lot better. Yeah.
All right, so we're reaching. I'm gonna I see. I'll get to you right here. I was just going to let people know I gotta head out at the 1 hour and 30 minute mark, which is 22 minutes from now. So I want to let some of the people who haven't spoken yet get their voice in. So I see you. You can go first.
Yeah. So I just wanted to kind of say, like, I think connecting the dots for everybody is probably what we're trying to get at here. That's what you were kind of referring to, and having a bigger reach. So I think something that would be important would be like the way that the Panthers used to work, and they said they used to keep their ear to the ground. Like right now is a perfect opportunity because we're in the middle of this pandemic and there's so many crises going on and things that are about to happen. Like, the moratoriums for rent are going to stop. The moratoriums for houses are going to stop. There's a lot of people that are trying to go on strike now because their jobs aren't paying them or didn't pay them or didn't treat them well because of the pandemic. And we're seeing all these little kind of actions on their own happening. And I think if people reached out to people in a mutual aid sort of way during these kind of actions, or stayed at the courthouse, because a lot of people don't even know what to do in these moratoriums, and hand out that information to them. And then you can even say, hey, if you need more help with other things, you can reach me by whatever means, right? Like give them an email address, whatever it is, and just start building relationships that way, because there's literally so many people that need so much right now that you can help in any way possible, and then bring them into that bigger collective of, hey, do you know why this happened to you? And you can start a conversation with that.
Great point. Yeah, we got to find a way to. All right, there's an echo. Someone could. We all mute our mics to. All right, I don't hear that anymore. Yeah, we got to find a way to how we can start the conversation where it doesn't sound too pushy, and trying to. You're not going to convince anybody on everything. So try to approach it with something that you all agree with. And I remember. James Corbett had a great video with somebody who works on this, who coaches people on how they can inform people about certain issues, like family members and all that, and how you can start that conversation. So it's something we can do here when we meet. I'm planning to do this every Thursday. Is I can show like some video clips of how we can interact with people, and other videos like interviews with people who talk about how to grow your own food. How mutual aid was done by the Black Panthers. So I think that's something we can do every week. But yeah, anybody else wants to say anything? Go ahead.
Can I do a hands up? I see you. That is a beautiful and different idea of what's going on with it. More than just a disease or COVID or everything else, I actually look at this as this horrific deficit or debt that's going to continue in the wrong direction. And what we've done up till now doesn't work. So we got to find another way. If we continue in this way, the debt or deficit...
Oh, are you connected to this by chance still? The speaker on your phone? Would you still be connected to this by chance?
The debt or deficit is going to make the 1930s look like Weekend at Bernie's. It's going to be a horrible thing that comes down. There's going to be a crash like you would not believe. So I see you. Great for bringing an idea out here that hasn't been put before. We need to figure out a different way, because what we've done so far is not working.
Private debt is the real problem and not national debt. Keep your eye on the private debt. That's where all the action's going to happen, on private debt. That's where all the pain is going to come from. Not from the national debt. Doesn't mean a damn thing.
Yeah, well said. Anyone who hasn't spoken yet want to say anything? We got Fuzz Affair, Dull Excitement, who haven't voiced anything yet. You want to say anything?
I guess I just wanted to mention, if in the very early on in the discussion where you were trying to assemble your pamphlet to include in that kind of information a whole bunch of boxes to be ticked off by someone who would return the pamphlet to you, and the choices would be like, there would be more, if they would need more salt, pepper, pork, fish, meat, ham, cheese, like see to people's most basic needs. Or it doesn't even have to be directly to food, but if there is trouble achieving rent this month, is the car broken down and needs fixing, or there's a whole bunch of options that could be included in there. But that's one option to try to include some. I think trying to empower the masses with that kind of pamphlet and engaging with them to try to see what their most basic needs is a slow but still sure enough starting point to try to build dual power and opt out of the system.
And I want to reiterate what I was saying and what ICU was saying. We have to interact with these people. So you will know best how to have a conversation starter with someone in your community. What's going on there. But you guys want to give any examples of how you can break the ice with somebody and how you can engage with them?
That's everyone's different, I think.
You
Right?
gotta be fucking funny. No, you don't gotta be
You
funny.
gotta be funny. You do gotta be funny.
Being funny helps.
But
I like to joke about.
You don't want to come off
shit,
creepy to them,
all the time.
right?
Like, just joking about it can raise awareness of issues that people
Yeah.
have never heard about. They're like, people want to know what the fucking joke is.
And be nice, and treat them like you would your friend. Talk to them like you would your friend. So they'll already feel, their guard will be down. You're talking to them just like their friends talking to them too. Then yeah, open up a little joke, Yeah, it pays to be funny.
Mm-hmm. Who else? We got Doll Excitement. You want to say anything?
Yeah, great conversation. So I've been kind of like sitting back. I'm tired of shit right now, but I wanted to sit in anyway. But going back to kind of towards the beginning, like as somebody who works with like survey work, and that's what I studied in school. I learned like not just through like books and stuff, but also through like experience. That the easiest way to get to I wouldn't be able to tell you how to break the ice like in person, but as far as flyering goes, it's probably best to cast a wide enough net that it's not too vague. Yeah, it's not too vague what it is on your flyer. Maybe have one of those pull-off ones, the ones you cut and then people take off a little snippet of paper and get in on a listserv or something and have a team that you trust and coordinate with, like do that in different places around the country or in the case of this group around the continent, and have them do like more localized listserv type things like what you were saying before. Because when you keep it local, it looks more like a newsletter, it's more relatable, and then you can get people into that forum where like, they'll start exchanging ideas like, oh hey, like, I did have this idea of doing some kind of communal garden or something. What do you guys think? So I think the key is to have a lot of coordinated, but for the most part, like granular groups, like based on region, to get this wide net and go from being a little vague about it, and then once you start getting it and ease people into it, is I guess what I'm saying. Because the reality is, like, we can be as passionate as we want, but a lot of the time, if we just go right into it, it'll scare a lot of people away just because of the sheer amount of brainwashing that's been going on, especially in European countries, American countries, and all that. They're programmed to react to certain, like a lot of us included, we have to unlearn a lot of stuff. So I think that's the key. Is like you got to start with the unlearning of certain things before you can get around to the real meat of it. So, and if you ever want like some advice or like some materials on how to put together these survey type things, just let me know. I wouldn't call myself an expert, but that's what I've been doing the last 6 years.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, we got Nimesh.
The thing is, the survey idea is a great idea. I think that could be incorporated in some way, but where the other person does most of the talking and chooses the topic. That way you could really see what they're about before you try to tell them your opinions, preach to them, give them a flyer. In my experience, a lot of flyers will probably just go in someone's pocket. They may skim it over. But I think in a way, sometimes activists giving out flyers is kind of like when people are just sharing links all the time. Like, oh, look at this, look at this. Like, a lot of people don't look at those links unless they're already intrigued. You could tell people, oh, read this book, read this pamphlet, read this flyer, look at this link, watch this video. But at the end of the day, you need to cultivate interest. Because if they're not interested to begin with, then that's the problem. So you need to see what they're about first of all.
Yeah, that's why asking questions is important.
Yeah, that's why it's important to like keep it not so vague that they're confused as to what's going on and like, okay, what the hell are they, what are they getting at? But like also give them a chance to like kind of get into that headspace where like, okay, but here's what I think about this, and then I guess
What's
it's
the
more. I
context
couldn't
of this?
really.
Are you guys talking about how to talk to random people in the street, or in what context?
Your community.
Yeah, like
so people,
outreach,
yeah.
essentially.
Yeah.
Float an idea.
It's a good point though, not to sound too preachy though, because that could deter
The
them
reason that I
away.
ask this is because you could also try to pick up a hobby that is not necessarily political and use that as a way to come into contact with local strangers, and then over time you could get to know them personally. You could join a sports team, or honestly, any hobby could work for this.
How long is that going to take? How many years? How many years is that going to take?
It doesn't matter as long as it's real.
Yeah, it does. It does matter. It does matter. People have been trying to do what he's talking about.
I was like, yeah, you feel how hard it was last month? Goddamn fried the goddamn coast and all the fucking wildlife died.
But if it took 100 years and it doesn't change, and if it's another 100 years and it does change, isn't that important?
It is an idea.
No, it's not important. Fuck no, it ain't important. If it takes 100 years to change, fuck no. Fuck no, the planet's going to be burnt down. Fuck you talking about? Fuck you talking about? No.
Tender lung, there's the difference. As long as I can make permanent, better change, if I don't see it in my lifetime, I'm okay with that.
A lot of people aren't though, and the thing is, if action isn't taken, then it's gonna make it worse for the future.
You don't just.
We're saying that we're doing the same thing we've been doing, and somehow it's going to be better in 100 years. Fucking regarding this shit. Did you hit my head? Did you hit your fucking head? Were you raised on Flint water? Were you raised on this shit don't make sense. This shit don't make sense. This shit
He's got that radioactive side by his name, Owen Radioactive Man.
My question is, so there was a huge movement
you gotta watch
with the Black Lives Matter, and I think my question is why didn't we get all the policies that the whole movement was asking for?
Because people sell out because it's full of offenders. It's full of offenders and Collins and all these bootlickers that sell out. Black Lives Matter was co-opted in 2 weeks. In 2 weeks, it was already co-opted. So that's why.
The focus on politics definitely feels that.
We have to raise awareness to all this shit before it's going to change. Black people turn on black people. Asians turn on Asians people. Everyone turn on each other. So until we all recognize this shit and get rid of all the bootlickers, you know how many bootlickers I got in my family that grew up just as poor as me and they licking boots now? We got to change that first. Because you're talking some bullshit. You're talking some bullshit. Hey, they trying to make all digital currency right now. That's like Terminator game over. We gotta be living in the sewers talking about this shit. Man, y'all need to wake up to reality, man. Y'all have been pampered your whole motherfucking lives. I don't know what it is.
Yeah, we don't have enough time. We don't have the action needs to be taken now. So yeah, we got 7 minutes left.
All the real ones know who you are. Everyone else, man, y'all need to wake the fuck up, listen to me, man. Get under my wing.
All right, hang on, guys. I wanna give some of the new people a chance to talk. Hang on, guys. Hang on. I wanna give some of the new people a chance to talk, because there is 7 minutes left. So, Nimesh and Lucky Burrito, go ahead and voice your thoughts. What do you guys think about all this?
Okay, thank you, Franco, for the opportunity to talk. Here's the thing, guys. As people mentioned, in the 1920s and 30s, we got change for the working people. We got tangible benefits. And then a little bit in the 60s. Well, fuck. If people in the 1930s can organize marches and get out there and make it happen, why can't we? And it's much easier with us, with technology and everything. Listen.
Because no one has the knowledge. We're stupider than ever. Go listen to how they spoke in the 1960s. Go listen to how they spoke in the 1960s.
Have a conversation.
Tender lungs, it's not your turn.
Okay, let's have a conversation and not just yell over each other. Okay, then we learn the knowledge. You know what? Let's learn from our opposition. Let's face it. Who's more successful? Us, progressives, liberals, whatever you want to call it, or the right wing? The right wing is fucking successful. Why? Because they take no prisoners. They're Machiavellian. We have to be manipulative as well.
And
Right?
listen
So
to
we're
you
gonna-
guys. I'm out here taking no prisoners, and y'all don't want to hear shit. Y'all bootlickers. You a bootlicker? It's a lot of bootlickers in this motherfucker. That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying.
Franco, can you actually act like a moderator and silence some of these unhinged and sick people so we could have a real talk and you could talk one by one?
Tender lungs.
Hey, it's passion. You gotta respect the passion.
We've heard bootlickers. Sorry, Franco.
All right, so let's get voice from let's hear from Lucky Burrito. What do you think?
Hey y'all, I wasn't here for like the whole thing, but I think that we have to take action in whatever way that we can, and we need to get out there and challenge people. I was talking about this the other day, going out and actually making a challenge, and like I feel like all of us should get together and try to figure this out, make TikTok videos, make whatever, and like, you know, we can call it like challenge 5 or something, right? So like you are challenged. Yeah, you challenge 5 people. You go up to them and you tell them what's going on and what, you know, like find out what's really mattering to them right now and tell them about the actions that are coming up that they can get involved with. You know, the general strike, we gotta prepare for that. We gotta get, you know, mutual aid for people. And, you know, so you go and you make sure that you talk to 5 people and then you challenge every one of those people to talk to 5 more. And doing that and keep challenging people to do it. Get my daughter's 17. I'll get her on TikTok and get her friends to do it too. You know what I mean? We gotta get people awake enough to know that they aren't so small in this world. There's a lot of us, because I feel like it's really easy to feel really tiny in this big world and all these issues, and a lot of people tune out because it's overwhelming. But we need to show our neighbors and just, you know, everybody that we can, that, you know, we can do this and we have each other's back. And you know, like, the more we unite and we get out in our community, that's how we're going to get stuff done. We have to, like, make the connections. We can't expect that everything's going to be able to happen through social media. That is a big, big way for us to spread the word. But, like, going to your neighbors or going to somebody at the local store and just mentioning it and just, hey, like, I challenge you to do it.
So yeah, we should definitely be diversifying the way that we, you know, spread the message. So yeah, TikTok's popular right now. If we can use that as a tool to spread the message. Think people like Prop and other people play video games and they take that opportunity to try to inform some of the gamers there about some of the problems happening. So yeah, definitely still use these online tools in addition to talking to people in your community.
I do not play video games. Video games play me. Fuck those video games. The chat.
I just think we need to brainstorm as much as possible to try to figure out, you know, the best way that we can reach anybody and everybody. Because there's still people that, you know, you might not, like, talk to on social media or have as a friend, but you, like, you know them as, you know, the person in the local grocery store or a neighbor. You know, there's a lot of people that, you know, want to be involved. They just don't want to, like, take it on themselves. It's too big.
So ask you guys, how many of you guys actually know, like, a progressive person in real life that's like your friend or actually, like, lives in some reasonable distance of you? I mean, I guess I wish I could do a poll or something like that. But, like, yeah, I don't know. I want you guys to think about that. Like, how many of you guys actually have one local person that would be willing to work with you? Because if you don't have that, I think that would be, like, a good first goal. Because once you have that, you can start a group pretty easily. To be honest, finding the first person is, like the first barrier that you need to get over. The Black Panther Party, formed by Huey Newton and Bobby Seale, was able to expand greatly with just these 2 guys initially, you know? Once you have 2, you could start a group. I think most progressive people don't know anybody in real life.
Get together.
Always, pardon me, just a second. Oz always has some wisdom to drop. Oz?
Well, no, but no, it's just an idea. We're talking about a pamphlet. Have you considered starting a skills bank in your neighbourhood? So you drop the pamphlet and say, what skills do you have that you'd be willing to donate to the neighbourhood a couple of hours a week? Right, and then you just get a list of people who are willing to provide skills to the neighbourhood, and then you put it online or something like that. And when somebody in the neighbourhood needs that skill, then they can negotiate like a cut price or something like that, or donate it. And then with that also, your neighbourhood is then going to be able to see what skills it lacks. And then as a neighbourhood, you can negotiate to get that skill done for you with much better bargaining power. Okay, but you start with a skills bank, the same as you would with a food bank. Yeah? Is that an idea?
That's beautiful, yeah.
I like that. Don't forget about that idea.
Skills bank. Anyway, that's it.
I was gonna say, like, I know it's delicate and always important to consider what you're doing, what you're want to organize people around, and how you want to do that very carefully. And maybe part of the thing is being careful and doing that and considering that and getting anything going. And then also, when you're going to get that thing going, don't forget, of course, like networking with the different media people like yourself, Frank, and like that is a way to make the thing more broad or more
more
numbers,
expansive,
which is good for the people. Like, and they see there's more numbers.
Hell yeah.
Well, before you run out of time, Franco, let me throw this out here. I appreciate what you're doing, and it's great to do the collective thing. Fun, informative community. Let's do some activism that's proactive. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you guys so much, man. A lot of great ideas were shared here. I included a lot of notes here from what was said today. And if you guys want to continue the conversation after I head out, you guys can continue. You guys can stay on the voice channel here and keep discussing, and we'll do this again next week. I really appreciate you guys talking to me.
Subscribe to Redneck Economics.
Yo, can I say something? It's gonna take like 30 seconds. Yo, I really like the idea that Lucky Burrito Art and Music had about doing like challenges of different types.
Yeah.
I would like to issue a challenge. Go find 3 to 5 homeless people and give them like $1 or $2 and try to talk to them. Most of them will want to make small talk with you or just like casually talk to you. In my experience, if you're like open to them and you're nice and shit, you would be surprised how much shit they might tell you about life on the street just as a stranger.
That's an excellent challenge we could take. Yeah, that's an excellent challenge. All right, guys, I'm about to end the stream for everybody because we are at past the 1 hour and 30-minute mark. But we'll do this again next week. And yeah, we'll continue the conversation on Discord. If you're watching right now on YouTube and you wanna keep discussing this with some of the people here, join the Discord. I'll see you guys later. Take care, everybody, and don't forget to stay informed. Bye bye.